Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is Yuji's long lost brother, D.
This is Yuji's inevitable other long lost brother, Modi.
And this is Yuji's failed twin clone.
And we are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya arc. Hopefully it's getting its ending soon. The final fight, part 1.
I have no hope. I have no hope that this is going to wrap up any...
My guess is 2 more episodes.
I hope you're right. I hope
Because we're
you're
at episode
right.
22 now, so maybe 1 or 2 more.
Listen, man. Inumaki's gonna show up and he's gonna do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dash with Panda, and then we're gonna have the scene where like Chosa absorbs the cursed spirits from Hanami, Jogo, and not Mahito and become Super Ghetto, and it's gonna be a whole thing. This isn't even Ghetto's final form, guys.
Wait, no. Before we move on to the fight, I need to address something to make sure that we don't forget this, because no one should forget this. The fucking crow lady.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay, so...
I know, I wanted to say this. Thank you.
So, first of all, we're gonna get to that part. But first of all, like, after the fight, did she just, like, fuck off and, like, go to an apartment? Like, what happened
Singapore.
between...
Malaysia.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic that she went to the exact place, what's his name? Nanami was dreaming about going for vacation.
That makes it even worse, okay? How the fuck does she get her happy ending? And I mean happy ending in the worst possible way.
Oh my god. How old is that kid?
I don't want to know.
I mean, it doesn't matter. He's a kid. He's clearly a kid.
He's clearly a kid that's, like, infatuated with her.
His sister, apparently.
A sister? Wow.
I mean, okay,
Oh, yeah,
you know what?
yeah,
You know what the
that
worst
is her
part
brother.
is? You could either say this is... You could try to clean it up and say, like, oh,
No.
sister is just a term of endearment, and they don't have to be related. And it's like, motherfucker, they have the same hair color, and there's a huge age gap between them.
Yeah. Plus,
Of all-
authority figure. Like, he was going to give his life for her. That's...
Were we too hard on Mahito? Were we legit too hard on Mahito?
No, that's a different... He's just annoying. This is, like, illegal.
Like, because I was watching that scene, it's like, damn, of all the characters we've lost this season, she's still kicking. God damn. I was liking her at first, and then, like, as the season went along, I just felt myself liking her less and less, and then this scene, I'm just like, don't pull don't pull a Chainsaw Man. This was dangerously close to, like, this was about to pull a Chainsaw Man. And I mean that in the worst possible way. It was about to pull a Chainsaw Man that Chainsaw Man didn't even want to pull.
I don't get why you would do this. Especially for...
Thank you.
You were doing so
every-
well.
Everything having to do with Mei, like, I was hoping that there was going to be some sort of payoff or something, but none of it made sense, and it was just like, why was she ever there to begin with? What did she actually accomplish? In the end, she just, like, used her brother's power to, like, transport herself halfway across. It's just so weird. Like, maybe there's going to be some more coming up. Maybe she's going to turn into a villain or something, but, like, none of it made sense at all.
Was she,
What
like,
was her
fighting
point?
Ghetto? Like, before she...
Yeah, she was fighting him. Yeah.
No, she was fighting he released a cursed spirit against her, which, like, the smallpox thing. She killed it and then went off to fight him, but then I guess she's just like, fuck this. I'm done with this
I'm
season.
going home. The thing that's going to save the world, releasing Gojo. I'm just going to, like, sleep with my, like, my underage sibling. Why? Why do you have to do this? What is up with, like, these weird fucking writers? It was the same thing with Mashal. It's like, this character was completely normal, but I guess we have to make them funny.
Yeah.
By having, like, a weird incest plot. What is wrong with you?
I feel like he was I would take him over, like, Mei any day of the week.
Spy X Family did the same shit. where it's like, well, not as bad, but I mean,
For like, okay,
it's
for
underage
comedic
incest
effect-
versus normal incest. Like, ugh.
Okay, for comedic effect, I think Spy
It's not
Family
funny.
does it perfectly fine.
No,
like,
it's not funny. It's never been funny.
Spy X Family did the most tolerably compared to the other ones.
I think it makes it a worse show. Whatever is happening there. I still like that show, but I think there was no reason that it had to be that way. Is this a joke? Is this the humor? Am I not getting it?
See, my thing is,
Am I too
feel
woke?
like
Yeah.
my thing is with Spy X Family, like it knows it's a joke. With Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm not sure what the approach is taking for this is. Like, I can't tell if it's like, oh, okay, is this their character? Is this a gag? I don't know how I'm supposed to be reacting to this.
Because the show doesn't frame it in a particularly, like, not necessarily a negative way, which is
It
weird.
frames it in a neutral way, which I don't like at all.
Also, we get a little bit of fan service, like, ooh, she's naked.
I mean,
would be
context-
fine if
context.
she wasn't naked with the little boy who was about to, like, die for her in the previous episode. Oh my god.
Like, if it was a Gojo, then yeah, awesome, but wrong white-haired kid, okay?
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Wrong white-haired character in
Exactly.
general. There is no white-haired
Exactly.
kid, but you know what I'm saying.
We don't slut shame unless you're literally a fucking criminal.
That you just, like, listen, I can understand the whole, like, yeah, I'm out of my league, I'm leaving, but to be fair, you're kind of a heavy hitter, and, okay, you know what, give Suit Guy credit, he could have left any moment, and he clearly wanted to leave, but he didn't, so, props to him. He could have easily left out and slept with an underage child, but you know what? He didn't. He did the bare minimum of his job. He didn't just ditch out and sell all of his NFTs. He stayed and hid, okay?
Wait, Suka, is that the guy who was hiding under the rubble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him.
He's funny. I like him.
I like him
Me
too.
too.
Yeah.
It's so funny how Pen was just going around. He just finds him laying there, like hoping no one sees him.
If I just play dead, the giant bear will just leave me alone.
It's great. Okay. Another thing. I'm gonna read it. We talked about this like the previous time. I don't. Ghetto not being ghetto, and then being actually he's a secret ancient sorcerer, and I thought. I don't really have any investment right now in Ghetto as this version of Ghetto as a villain. Because we have zero history with him, and this is the first time we're hearing about this ancient. It's not like it was brought up before and being oh, there's this ancient sorcerer that died years ago, and then oh wait, actually he's been inhabiting Ghetto or whatever. I don't care about him as the new villain, and the fact that he's getting this much screen time I'm a little bit annoyed.
You see, I've never seen an anime, in my opinion, mix up its arc order as bad as Jujutsu Kaisen. If the hidden inventory arc, if the hidden inventory arc should have been the first arc we've ever seen from Jujutsu Kaisen, and then the movie should have been the second one, and then all the stuff with Yuji should have been the third arc, in my opinion, because that way we get a clear, straightforward arc with Geto. We have the whole him dying, and then when he comes back, we immediately know, oh, something's up. Why is he alive? Why is he here? And then when we get the reveal, I feel like that gives us oh, so that's what's going on kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the way it is now, it's just Geto just fucks off and then comes back dead. And it's just what? Actually, have you guys seen the bald, Geto meme online?
No.
Hold on. We're doing a quick intermission because this needs to be seen, and I feel like this would have been a way better twist than the whole like body hopping thing.
Yeah, Gato was actually just wearing a wig the whole time.
Yes, that was the twist the entire time. He lost his head.
That actually would be better, unironically.
Okay. Getting into this, there's something I need to like get off my chest. Okay, I would give Gege so much credit. I will forgive him of every single writing issue for Jujutsu Kaisen if the moment Geto appears, he does his like weird sorcerer crap. Instead of summoning spirits, all of a sudden you see a Christmas tree. He has the weird ice sorcerer start making it snow, and he just reveals that this entire time, his entire plan was just to make the greatest Christmas party known to man. Mahito comes back, Jogo comes back, Hanami comes back. He frees Gojo. Mahito brings Nobara back to life, and everyone just has the greatest Christmas special in the history of man. And then all of a sudden, you just cut back to like Toto just on the ground, passed out, and just hallucinating all of this crazy shit.
I'm gonna say this right now. If anyone else dies in this arc, and it's not like any like established character right now, I'm gonna be like pretty peeved, because like mentally I'm done with the arc.
Same.
The arc is done for me. So if they like throw in another character like Panda dies, or like fucking if even like bow and arrow guy dies, right? It's just gonna be like, why though? Like, this is so useless.
I know. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, you guys had one job. Do nothing. Why couldn't you not do that right? Like, when I first
just end it.
When I saw like the like Kyoto school show up, I was like, okay, this is great. They're staying at distance. They know they're outranked. They're being smart about it. And then Miwa just comes up to like face to face with the end boss. I'm just like, God damn it. God damn it. You had one job. I actually like you, Miwa.
Yeah, it's so funny how like the last episode they were like on the train complaining about how Mekamaru underestimated them, and then they go and they prove why he underestimated them.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, I was about to bring that up. I think that this also cheapens that entire scene.
Yes.
Like, that should have been the end of that. I don't think the sister school ever should have came by, because I thought it was perfect that like, Mekamaru was one of his like last things was he kept them away from this like huge incident. So having them just kind of like show up randomly the next episode is really annoying to me.
I don't feel like it's random, but
okay, it's not random. I think it's not good.
If any one of them ends up dying, I'll agree with you. But if not, then it's just whatever. It's like just neutral for me. I don't care.
I think you could run him up and then like have Geto leave immediately, like, and then that's just kind of the end of the arc. Like, he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna leave now.
I mean, honestly, for me, my biggest issue is just like every minute of this arc is just like Mekamaru was like the first big death of this arc, and the more it goes on, the more it cheapens the death, because A, he never prepped them for the whole Shibuya thing. B, like when he comes back to help Yuji, it's like, okay, he had this whole plan, backup plan. Nope, he just gets yeeted off, and it's just the whole thing was just like, I wanted you guys to be safe. I wanted you to survive. And it's like, nope, we're in the fight. I was like, God damn, man, I really like this character. Why'd you have to Yamcha him so badly?
Chozo, I also hope they don't kill him, because it's like, if you're going to introduce the character and get them some stuff to do, at least like have them stay a little longer to do some character stuff. Like, please. Like, if they just kill him off because they can, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed.
I highly doubt he's going to die. At least not until we find out what he means by him being Yuji's blood brother and whatnot, you know?
Alright, two things. Again, I would have given this show infinite domain expansion points so hard if right as he's like, you cut back to the moment where he's about to do the final blow, and he just randomly goes, "Before I kill you, Itadori Yuji, what type of woman are you into?" And then with Yuji's like last breath, he's just like, "Jennifer Lawrence," and he just goes on that whole like existential crisis, and then he just goes like, My brother. If we do not get a fight with Yuji, Choso, and Toto, or have any moments where they interact off each other, I'm gonna be so pissed.
You
Like,
have
I
a
wanna
scene where
spin
Toto's
off-
like, "I have another brother."
Like,
That was funny when I forgot what character said it, but when that one character was like, "How many brothers does Yuji have?"
Like, I really want them
bow
to
and
do
arrow
a
guy.
spin-off
Sorry.
of just the three of them, like, being roommates and just being brothers. Like, you have Choso being, like, the tsundere, like, older brother. You have, like, Toto being, like, the super outrageous, like, middle brother. And then you have Yuji, the only normal sibling, and them just going on adventures. Like, you have an episode where it's just, like, Yuji about to take out that girl from, like, the first episode of the season. And then you do the whole, like, sitcom, them messaging him dating tips and everything.
Do you guys have any theories on what he means or like how he's brothers with Yuji? Because he's a cursed spirit, right?
I'm guessing
Kind
that whatever,
of.
like, weird fetus
Or-
thing Geto did to create him, he probably did the same with Yuji.
Yeah, I agree. I think whatever the weird thing inhabiting Ghetto created Choso in the same way created Yuji.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
they're like
what do you mean
siblings in that
created
sense.
Yuji?
I don't know. I guess like he did some kind of Jesus shit.
Geto was Yuji's father the entire time.
Yeah.
I think what it is that maybe he actually is, because they showed when Choso was like flashbacking, it showed his mother and it showed his father. I mean, it didn't show his father, but like it said he had a father. So I think
Yeah.
those might, like, I think he might just mean it literally. Like, those two people might actually just be Yuji's parents.
Either that or Geto.
And we know they're dead, so, or at least not around. Yeah, go ahead.
Either that or, like, whatever, like, body hopping thing is possessing Geto's body right now possess Yuji's father first. Also, this is another thing one thing I wanted to point out about Bow and Arrow Guy. Like, Choso, like, calls Geto's real name out as, like, one of the worst sorcerers in history. And the Bow and Arrow Guy has the same exact name. Who the hell names their child after Wizard Hitler?
You know, I realize he's pretty much like the successful. If like Orochimaru was actually successful, that's who he would be.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, that's what I love about Shonen, because, like, you can tell the influences, but you can always feel, like, the writer putting their own unique spin on it. It's not like Isekai, where it's just like, oh, he's Kirito, but that's it. He has a different name. I will say the fight scene was really entertaining. I like that we got more. I really like Choso. I like his power. I like his personality. I want, like, I'm sorry, like, Toto's, like, boogie woogie abilities with, like, Choso's blood bending and Yuji's punching stuff. That would be such a great set piece. Oh my god, that needs to happen.
I'm really surprised by the versatility of Choso's blood manipulation power.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he could pretty much make it solid. He could make it like a sword. You know, he could heat it up. It's pretty interesting.
Also, Geto turned Mahito into a literal Dragon Ball Z blast. And freaking Trenchcoat Guy was able to tank that. That was such a fun moment for me.
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah,
I swear to God, I thought they were going to kill off Miwa. That's like, I saw that and was like, God damn it, you had one job, not die.
Even
So
if Witch Girl dies, who I do not like, I'm still gonna get pissed off.
Yeah.
It's like, why? We're done.
They all literally showed up, and within 5 seconds they got taken out of the fight.
How do you guys feel about so that power, that Uzumaki power, that pretty much, you know, the Rasengan that he ate?
I love that's the
supreme art
perfect.
of cursed spirit. Like, how do you feel about there being now something that's even bigger than a domain expansion, or like something, you know, above that is being introduced?
I
Stop
think
it.
I think it's, again, this is a constant issue with Jujutsu Kaisen where it takes something that's very simple, like, oh, I just took all of Mahito's cursed energy and I just fired it back at him, or I just self-destructed Mahito at you. It just feels like the writer has such a bad habit of over-explaining very simple things that, like, can be seen visually, you know? Like, oh, Geto just hyper compressed Mahito into an orb, and he just fired it out him as an energy blast. Like, it was straightforward, and you can tell what was going on visually. It's just, don't waste the voice actor's time. Just stay, like, okay. Part of me is just like, okay, I feel like that's a lot of time. That's a lot of like easy stuff for the animators to not have to worry about animating, but still, it's just less talky, more punchy. I know this is the manga and they need like a word count and everything, but show, don't tell everyone, please.
For me, the thing that annoys me about it is the fact that the domain expansion up until now has been like they've not acted like they pretty much said, like, you know, the domain expansion is like the ultimate ability of anyone who uses cursed energy. That's the peak, and like
until it isn't,
right? And now it turns out that there's something even more above that, and I don't like it because it makes me feel like, well, now what if, like, who's to say there won't be something else that's even above this so-called supreme art, you know? Like,
probably.
I feel like I'll tolerate it once when, like, you bring out something that's above what's supposed to be like the highest power, like, ability, but if it happens again, it's gonna really annoy me.
My guy, you're a shonen fan. How many gears is Luffy at right now?
But shonen, that's the thing. In shonen, usually 99% of the time, it's so weird because authors know this. They know that they're gonna have, you know, escalation syndrome, right? So they'll never say. I've never seen them say from the start, like, this is the peak. Like, this is like what the what's the word, like the paragon or whatever, like the ultimate
this
power,
is max level
that a fighter can have, right? They never say that because they know that they're just going to want to keep one-upping themselves each and every arc, right? But this time with domain expansion, like, this is supposed to be it, right? And they're kind of like pulling back on that. Look at Bleach, right? With Bleach, from the start they said Bankais are like the top and that's it. Like, Bankai is like the peak of what you can do, and they never violated that.
Yeah, dude, they soft did it. They do it slightly, but they never stop calling it a Bankai. It's just like, oh, this is my Bankai's leveled up form. But it's never like, they never introduce a super Bankai. And honestly, that is kind of disappointing because when you do establish that peak, A, it makes things a lot more consistent. And B, it's also interesting to be able to, like, figure out, like, oh, this is at the peak. How are they going to get out of it? Or how is this... Like, it establishes a hard magic system or a hard set of rules that they can really play around with. But when you introduce a new rule like that, it kind of makes everything else feel a little more flimsy.
It's like the rug is getting pulled out from under you. Like, now there's just, like, no stability, and it just feels like anything goes, which, I mean, it's fine. But you should have just done that from the beginning. You know, you should have just never said that.
You know, the sad part about that is
the ultimate power.
The saddest part about that is, A, they introduced this new ultimate power. B, the bad part is they used it on a minor character. And C, it didn't even work on either minor character.
Wow, that's so true.
Like, if this was, like, if this is what was used to, like, seal Gojo, then that would have been interesting. But the fact that, like, it just didn't work.
I just don't see the point. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't just say he did a powerful attack.
Yeah. You want to know what makes it even funnier? Even him, when Geto was giving, like, his monologue explaining the power, he was like, even me, like, when I first figured out I had this power, I didn't think much of it, right? But then I realized I could absorb a higher level cursed spirit, and now it's like this is kind of ridiculous, you know? Like, just, it didn't even work anyway, so why make it seem like it's something above a domain expansion, you know?
Magic
just make it like another power that he has, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I kind of forgot, so you go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I have something I was gonna say,
Yeah.
which is so these reveals, like, the fact that Choso's his brother, and the fact that I guess Geto is being possessed by like this ancient Jujutsu user, 150 years old and all that. They didn't have a lot of impact for me, and I'm not really sure why. Like, I really don't get it. Like, I feel like something like that should work, but it's just not working, and I feel like, how Attack on Titan, they'll have reveals in a similar way. Because to me, I feel like it was really underwhelming, but Attack on Titan will have underwhelming, like, how do I describe it? It'll have
the issue
big
is
reveals in a like subtle way, but it still feels big, right? But this one is just like, it kind of just felt like it was another plot point.
The issue with it is a lot of it is just it isn't built up properly for me. Like the whole reveal of Geto is just like, oh, this is a different guy. We never had any, like there was no build up to like, oh, Geto's alive? What? Like we didn't even know, like if you didn't watch the movie, you didn't even know like Geto is dead. You would think like, oh, it's just business as usual. Like he just has a new Pokemon collection of cursed spirits that he's rolling with like Choso.
Seriously,
it's just like
that's neat.
Like, yeah,
because I didn't watch the movie and I learned from you that he was dead, so it's like, I was wondering what was behind him being brought back to life, but for some reason none of it is clicking. Like I'm just not invested, and I don't know why, because he is the main villain. Like I just don't
It
get
never
why I
gave you a
don't
reason
care.
to be invested. Like, Chozo, for example, we barely know who he is. Like, the most of what we know of who he is like the death of two other characters we really knew nothing about. We're like pretty weak season 1. And then, like, we're introduced to him this arc. Like, there's not really much to work with there.
You're right.
Like, if Mahito was, like, his brother or something, that'd be, like, a little bit more, because we have a history with him. Same thing with Geto is, like, if he was controlled by, like, an ancient sorcerer that we knew about, right? But just, like, they brought this up now out of, like, fucking nowhere. And it's, like, so we're just kind of like, so what? You just gave us this information. Same thing when, what's-her-face, I don't even remember her name, pops up at the end of this episode.
Oh, Sukumi.
Yeah,
Yuki.
my reaction was, oh. Like, we see her once in the flashback sequence, and, like, that's it. But there's, like, this big moment of, like, oh, it's this character. It's like, so?
You know what would have been a really good way to set a lot of this stuff up? What if the guy possessing Geto was possessing Toji at the very start of, like, the hidden inventory arc? That way we get to establish that, like, oh, we get introduced to the character, and then we get to see, oh, this is a new version of that character, or, like, oh, this is where that character went, you know?
That would be better, because I thought that the Toji coming back was, like, a little bit more, because when Toji came back, we understood, like, what he could do. And, like, his, like, he beat, this is the guy who beat Gojo. And, like...
And it's ironic, because the way he went out was, like, pretty underwhelming, too. Like,
yeah. Like, honestly, they kept him. I thought they were going to have him be, like, a major villain after that.
Yes.
And I was like, no, but they didn't do it. And that would have honestly been better, because that character's, like, actually has something to work with. Also has history with the characters, including, like, a major one. Megami, what the fuck are you doing?
You know what the weird part is? He is literally technically, like, Toji was technically the reason all of this started. He's the one who set Geto down the whole kill all monkeys train, and he doesn't even reunite with him.
Yeah, Toji, like, it's so weird, because Toji's reappearance in this arc had the most potential to be, like, a big reveal and, like, dramatic. Like, it had the most potential to have, like, a lot of drama, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, he just came and went, and now, like, we're getting these new reveals, and it's just like, there's a lot of lack of setup. I think Jujutsu Kaisen moves too fast. I think that's probably the flaw.
I agree, because, like, this Shibuya arc has
spoken
been
like a true One Piece fan.
combat episode, and it's like we need character stuff. Like, we
Yeah.
need to build up characters. We need to know characters. We need to understand characters so that when they do die, it fucking matters.
Yeah.
The only thing you're
Honestly-
doing is disappointing me by being like, here's an interesting idea for a character, and then do fucking nothing with them and have them killed off for shock value. What's wrong with you?
And that's the frustrating thing, because a lot of the best fights in the season were built on those pre-existing relationships. Like, the
Yes.
fight between Sukuna and Jogo was hype because, A, we know how strong Sukuna is. B, we're invested with Jogo. Same thing with, like, Hanami and, like, Dagon. Because, like, with Dagon, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, man, we've seen this person in the background this whole time. What can they do? And then when they do the whole Baby Cthulhu transformation, it's hype. Heck, we even had build up for his domain expansion when they're just chilling at the beach in like the after credit shots.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think, yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. And okay, if I'm gonna try to defend Gege Akutami, I would say that he probably it's a tough like schedule, and he wants to get to the good stuff as quickly as possible, especially in today's environment of shonen jump storytelling, where you want to get you don't really have as much of a luxury to set up things and like character stuff like they used to be able to do, all that stuff. But this is just really not good, I think. And I think the people who I'm most disappointed out of everyone is not even the story, but like the fans, because people legitimately eat this up.
Yeah.
And Jujutsu Kaisen is so popular. Not that it's bad or anything, it's good, but like it's not like, come on, like this is
I feel like
all of these, there's so much setup and like you said, character stuff that's missing that just makes it, to me, in a lot of ways, it's like barely enough,
the thing about it is, I think, again, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the current environment of like media and shonen. I feel like for like the generation, like we grew up with Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, and those were shows that like really took their time, for better and worse, for building stuff up. Whereas nowadays, it definitely feels a lot more go, 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 go. So I could totally see Gege being forced into a position where, oh, every episode we need a new fight. Oh, every episode we need a new twist. Because like that's the interesting thing. Because like back in my day, we didn't have these 1-episode fights. We had 10-episode fights, and those fights in those 10 episodes only last 5 minutes. Granted, like, I think, okay, one thing I will say, I think in terms of action, I think Jujutsu Kaisen is probably peak shonen, because I think the fights go on for precisely as long as they need to. Like, we need more fights where it's just like, but I think the issue is, we have a lot of really good paced fights. We just don't have anything in between to sort of rest and just catch up on the characters to build. These are really great fights that just needed more build up.
It's sad when a lot of the character development is like implied stuff that the fans have come up with, rather than like what's actually provided to us in the show. And like, I want to give some like credit to what's the name of the author again? Like Gege. Okay. Like, I think what makes this more disappointing is there's some like good shit here. There's some characters that I really like and that I want to see more of, and I'm really disappointed are just gonna like die off now because we need to like shock value. And like, it's like he's getting bored with his characters that he made like an arc ago. Like, what are you doing, man?
And that's the frustrating thing, because like I will give him a lot of credit. Like, I know I was saying like a lot of the character, like from a texture, from like a quick glance, don't look very interesting, but he's like, I think Gege has a talent for getting you invested with characters pretty quickly. I think he just needs to be able to like let you latch onto those characters and learn a little bit more about them before throwing them out into the wild like this. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think like Maki, Inumaki, and Panda, like the Yuji senpais, I don't think they really needed to be included. Like, you could keep like Panda, Toto, and Maki. just keep those three characters, and I think you have had a perfectly good, like, and Nanami, you can't get rid of Nanami. You have had a really solid cast.
You're just like, okay, like just they should just focus this arc around capturing Gojo.
Who's Gojo?
And getting the fuck out. And like, I think there's some character deaths that I really liked Nanami's death.
Yeah, totally.
I thought it was pretty good. And like, that's because I like Nanami. We've had many episodes with Nanami. He's kind of like the secondary authority character. I'm gonna miss his dynamic with the Gojo and stuff like that. But like, we don't get enough time to focus on that stuff. And now if they kill any other characters, like, I'm either just gonna be thinking about like the more important stuff that happened in this entire arc, rather than like what they're gonna do. I don't know.
I think the other big issue with this arc is, again, you remember that Gojo guy? The guy who, like, disappeared a few episodes ago? Like, this whole thing was about rescuing Gojo, but we never see him. We'll never... Like,
it lost its focus. Like, I don't know why we're getting these scenes where, like, Crow Lady's in bed with her brother. Like, cut the fat, no fat, get it out of here, please.
Like,
Too much dessert. I need dinner. No more dessert, please.
No more cheesecake.
No more cheesecake. I can only eat like a slice, all right? And it's only good if I have the meal beforehand so I don't feel like a fat piece of shit.
Like, I feel like this is gonna sound really crazy, but I think this arc would have benefited a lot more if Gojo didn't get captured in the first part of it. If it would have been something like Gojo gets gravely injured to set like, oh shit, this is bad. Gojo, our main guy's hurt. We need to get in there. We need to start doing stuff. And we just intersperse between, like, all of our characters fighting their way towards Gojo and him literally fighting against the other curse spirits, trying not to get sealed away. And then at the midway point, right when they're about to get close and we're in, like, the final, like, act of it, then Gojo gets sealed away. And then we have that, like, oh shit, Gojo's gone. We have the top end bosses standing in front of us. We need to get this done. I think that would have helped it a lot more. Because again, it's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, if you just jumped in at any part of this arc, you would have had no idea what any of them are doing or what, like, the whole goal of the season is.
There's no, like, rush either. Like, there's no, like, panic. Everything's just so slow.
I mean, that's the, like, kind of the funny thing, though, is that, like, all of your, like, most dangerous enemies are kind of gone. So it's like, oh, yeah, we finally got Gojo back. Also, all the bad guys are dead.
Except for Geto. I mean, I guess Geto is the only one that matters, but I don't know. I just don't know. I still don't know why I don't care. I don't get it.
You know the other bad part about this? Like, again, I really enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on it too much, but this is one thing that's kind of annoying for me. The main characters really didn't do much in this arc. Like, all the villains technically got killed off by their own. Like, Jogo got killed off by, like, Sukuna. Like, the two girls got killed off by Sukuna. Freaking, Sukuna killed the blonde twink guy. Geto technically killed Mahito. And I'm trying to think, like...
Toji killed, the octopus.
Yeah!
And also the other two sorcerers.
Like, if the villains...
And also Megabeast.
Who did the main characters, like... The main characters beat... What's his
Nabarro
name?
fucking died. Oh, you know what? Even blonde-haired weirdo, he got killed by Sukuna as well.
Yeah, like they killed they took down Grasshopper guy. Okay, they took out Buff Mario.
The villains off were better before they sealed Gojo.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like Ice Girl either. I'm sorry. I don't think this is the right moment to bring her in. I don't need another, like, full scene of her fighting. Like, I don't need another fight scene with her. I think I'm fine with her being there as like an extraction and getting him out, and that's it. But I don't like her. I don't like this continuing. Stop.
She is she? I forget. Is she the Sukuna's like subordinate?
I think
Is that who she is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird how she just came reappeared. Like she just appears and then disappears and then appears
It
again.
reappears
It's
again
kinda...
because it's like convenient, I guess.
How do you guys think they're gonna take down Geto, or will they? Because I feel like Gojo will be released, but I'm not really sure how they're gonna beat Geto.
I honestly hope they don't beat Geto, because he's the only, like, he's technically the only villain we have, like, prior history left with.
I guess so.
Like, who do we have left? Like, we have, in terms of possible antagonists, we have Ice Lady, we have Mei Mei, we have Buff Wrestler Guy, we had Lady Sorcerer, we had
Oh,
Dude
there's two
Sorcerer.
people that threatened Panda and the other guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
those
about.
two. Yeah.
There's no, like, really good... Also, I want to point this out. This arc would have been over in 5 seconds if Geto just decided, like, after Gojo was fully sealed and he could move around, if he just jumped on the next oncoming subway train and just got the fuck out. Why do people just run when they have the chance? Like, this would have been over, like, even quicker if Mechamaru was just like, okay, find the end bosses. Time to get the fuck out of here and call Gojo.
That's why these battles are set up like a tournament thing, which is really weird because it's like it's always okay. Someone's temporarily injured, so we have to have this person versus this person, like a 1v1 fight, and then after they beat this person, we have to move them on to the next bracket, and then we'll have the losers fight the other losers of the other fight, like as if it was like an actual like tournament, you know, like a sports tournament where it's like we have
Like
to
a
have like
tournament
one-on-one fight, 1v1 fights as it goes on, to the point where like we'll have characters get injured and then heal right after just so they can fight someone else. Or even with this part, Chozo was like fighting Geto alone for way longer than he should have.
Yeah.
Like they should have been on that shit. Also, quickly gonna mention, Gun Girl was her name, like Mai, I think.
Yep.
And Witch Girl, utterly useless, garbage. I don't even. They should be just considered civilians at this point. What the fuck is? Why are they even there?
Hey, Kiki was flying in the air. She knew where to. She told people where to shoot.
She blasted. She
Mai
blasted
had the
wind
sniper
at him, and it
Yeah,
was
I actually think
useless.
she was pretty useful. Kiki was pretty useful, except when she did her little wind attack. Like that was not necessary. Just stay and
Also-
be the scout, okay?
You know what the funny part is? She's literally the only character in Jujutsu Kaisen that uses a gun, and she was the only character, and she was not brought into Fortnite.
Gun Girl has yet to do anything significant to justify her position as like a peer to literally any of the characters.
But at least she got a compliment from Geto.
Yeah, even though it didn't work, I think if it took a chunk out of Ghetto's head, I think it would have been better. Like if we're actually like, oh, that was actually pretty good. But unfortunately, I'm really powerful. Bye.
Also, what the hell is wrong with Choso? He's been staring at this man for at least a couple of weeks, and he only now realizes that the resemblance to the guy that like screwed over his mother. Like this
I guess
guy
he
had
was
the
lost in
very
grief or
obvious
something.
like it was the kind of thing where like the scar was different or something maybe, but he had the exact same stitch pattern. What the heck? He wasn't even wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I guess the one thing that I'm happy about is my original theory when we first started reviewing season 1 about how his parents, Yuji's parents, are going to be relevant is probably going to be true. So that makes me happy.
God dang it. I owe you $1.
Yeah, you know what? I should have made actual like money bets.
Money bets. I like how last week we're like, I wonder how it's gonna end. Who's gonna fight Geto?
I know.
Is Mei gonna come?
Mei.
Is Gojo gonna jump out? And then fucking they're like, no, every character in the existence of Jujutsu Kaisen has to show up. Grasshopper on like frame 56 from episode 2 is here now too, I guess. I don't know.
You see,
I guess if nothing
know
else,
I'm
I'll give
shitting on
Giga
this.
props for being surprising. I guess.
see, I would give them more props if this was just like, oh, okay, we're all the D tier characters, so we need to work together to take this guy down. We need to be smart and we need to coordinate attack, and we can't just throw our bodies at them. I would have given them a lot more credit if that was the final fight scene, and not just like, oh, we're all frozen. Oh well, I guess we tried. I guess Mekamaru was right.
Question: Do we actually see the principal? Like
No!
No,
Where is he?
he's
Earn your
protecting
paycheck.
He's protecting their healer because if someone gets hurt, she needs to be able to patch them up.
She's clearly
Also-
being very useful, I guess, right? Like, no way. Like, who is she healing right? Oh, I guess she is probably healing
Nobara,
Megumi. And yeah,
Oh, and Mega, yeah.
No, because Sukuna healed him.
Oh, you know what? Who hasn't showed up in a while? Sword girl. I forget her name.
Miwa?
Blue hair,
No, the other one, the main one.
Maki.
Maki. Yeah, Maki is gonna.
Because
You know
Joga
what?
blew her up.
They're gonna get really injured by Geto, and Geto's gonna be like, "Haha, I've defeated you." And then Maki and guy who can only
Voice
say
guy.
like speech man, whatever the fuck his name is. What's his name?
Inumaki, I believe.
Yeah, they're gonna show up, and then they're gonna fight him as well.
And then
And
that
then-
third soul inside of Panda is going to kick in, and it's going to be a three-way between him and Geto.
And then some random side character is also going to die by the time this arc ends. I bet you.
And
Someone
then-
from the sister school or one of the the teacher guy, like one of them is going to get fucking wrecked or something.
And then they're going to free Gojo, and then boom, we're in the final fight scene. Okay, that would be a good way to end this season, by the way, because we never get to see a straight up fight between Gojo and Geto. That would have been a good way to wrap this up.
Wait, so even in movie Zero, they don't fight each other?
Nope,
What?
Oh, really? Wow.
they're in completely different areas.
I say this
Wow.
every week, but I really need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a
Like-
missed opportunity.
Gojo gets the killing blow, but like by killing blow, I mean like he puts him out of his misery. Like the main character from the movie does more like he's the guy who technically beats Geto.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I need to
It's
to
not
watch
bad.
that,
It's
like,
a pretty good
everything.
movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty good. And I'm sure also I would to some extent would enjoy the Shibuya arc even more if I had watched that first.
It makes it worse, honestly. Like I said, it's all about placement because like the movie was technically the first chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I didn't watch it, because I thought it was just like a prequel, like that didn't really matter. But I guess it was a prequel that did
Yes,
matter.
it did matter, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of those Marvel shows where it's like you have to watch the movie to get the side content.
But yeah, I will say this: when I turn off this would be a pain in the ass to binge. So I am happy that it does have week-long breaks between every episode. But if I have like my shonen brain, if I turn my brain off and just go full shonen monkey brain mode, I think there's a lot to enjoy about this. I think a lot of the fights. The pairings and the matchups are pretty fun. Like Gojo, like bloodbending guy versus demon summoning and ice powers. We have like also, oh man, Yuji's only at 10% soul power left. We've got this like motherfucker. This is the
Why did
biggest ass
Ice Girl just kill
10%.
them? Like, why did you just like kill the ice people right now? What's stopping her?
Because
Oh, right, because her Bankai needs to recharge after her Mega Domain. Oh, you're right. Okay, Panda's Mega Domain casts a protective aura over. Fuck off.
like I said, a lot of the stuff is just too complicated. Like, oh, my domain is just like my home. I have control over the entire environment. Or like, oh, I just summoned a force field. Like, we don't need this, like, metagaming BS. I
Oh,
appreciate the thought.
It's like when you're a kid and you're like, I cast a force field and you can't hit me. And it's like, well, I have a sword that goes through force field. It feels like that all the time with these types of animes.
I
I will
disagree
say
because
too.
like any
Yeah.
kid who starts talking like ghetto or like any like a Jujutsu Kaisen and starts lore dumping is immediately going to get their asses kicked. I want one scene. I would have loved it so much that like while like Ghetto's giving his full exposition dump about how his power works, Mai just one shots him in the head, just snipes him in the head in the middle of it.
That would have actually been funny and made her like a little bit cooler than like what she's been shown as. I think I think that too. I don't even think the fight. This is going to be controversial, but I don't even think the fight is as interesting as the other fights have been in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have swapped from like interesting city backgrounds and like subway stuff. Have them fighting in a bathroom or whatever, and we switched to bland crater. Bland flat crater.
Okay, I'm a little different. Like one thing I will like is I like the degradation. Like I love the idea of like the battlefield changing over time, how intense the fight is. So I do like the idea of like we start off in this really densely packed city, and now we're in just this giant blank crater. I think that shows a pretty good progression. But I will say it does run the risk of overstaying its welcome. Like if like the whole Mahito fight was the only fight in the crater, then maybe.
Yeah.
But if they really push the ice element of it and just have the crater start getting frozen over, it's less of a clear transition between like dense city to parking lot essentially.
Yeah.
But it will be pretty. It would be a nice visual change.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, my explanation for that is just that every single fight in Shonen, it's going to degrade to rubble, mainly because the author's going to get tired of drawing the backgrounds. This is what happens with Dragon Balls. This is what happens with all of them. Whenever a battle lasts long, the author gets tired of drawing backgrounds. So then, yeah, Bleach is like the best example of this. So it just degrades into just nothingness. And it's a good excuse to not have to draw backgrounds. So
I
get it,
drawing
but
it,
yeah,
sure.
it is what it
but
is.
like, use 3D, have the occasional rubble out there, or like a little bit of ground variation. I know like it's explained that Sukuna just made this crater.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know, it's a shame because some of the other fights I felt were so interesting to look at because they played around a lot with the fact that it's in a city with like both with lighting and like the different environments they choose to actually do stuff in. And having a bland crater is good for maybe one fight to have that kind of difference and like you said, shown like, oh, this is like the
final boss.
To be fair, I haven't gotten to this part in the manga, but I'm also pretty sure that the manga probably didn't even put that much effort into the backgrounds to begin with, like the whole city environment. I'm almost positive that they didn't put as much energy into it as the anime did. So it probably didn't even, like, if you're reading the manga, there probably wasn't even that much of a change. My guess.
No, and this isn't even like this is like more of a nitpicky or like a thing where it's like we had a really good good stuff in the previous episodes, and now it's just kind of like back to standard.
I can't wait for the one manga artist, one Shonen Jump mangaka, to have the balls to have 3D environments in their manga. I can't wait for that because if done right, that's going to be a brilliant time saver for all the weekly tortured mangaka. But that is going to be such a hilarious internet shit show. I can't wait to see it.
Doesn't My Hero do that? The author
does it?
Maybe. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
God, my respect for My Hero just went up 10 whole levels.
I would be surprised if there wasn't someone doing 3D backgrounds by this point. Because it's like right there, you know. Why not?
Like if we had that, like Oda might be able to finally go see his family.
Yeah.
Anything else, y'all?
Yeah, I don't think I've been. I have. I guess I I liked Panda's pheromone joke about Yuji.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. I like Panda. I like Panda showing up and being like, "Hey, what's up? It's me."
Yeah.
We've not seen each other in a while, I guess.
I'm
I like the
proud. I'm
fact that he
happy.
didn't- Mhm.
I'm happy that Panda's definitely one of the stronger of the whatchamacallit senpai group. And I like how he's literally the last one standing just because he was able to stay out of all the crazy shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, he was paired with someone who kept him out of the crazy shit.
Yeah. Listen, man, like, rule of shonen, just mind your own business. That's how you survive.
Listen, when cities start to explode, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
See, I can't wait to see the one, like, waiter dude make the big climactic comeback. Like, you know, the guy who was just, like, in the cafe when, like, Geto walked in with all the other curses and it was just like, oh shit, I have a bad feeling. Fuck my job,
yeah.
I gotta go. I would have loved it if that was, like, a running gag. Like, he's always just casual. He just always happens to be working at whatever facility or, like, plate store Geto just happens to, like, visit. Like, he's at the, he's, like, a busboy. He's, like, a valet at the, like, ski lodge they were hanging out in. As soon as he shows up, he's just like, oh shit, I need to go. And he
Sorry guys, I'm
like
late
the-
for the Halloween party. Oh shit! Turns his car around and leaves.
You'd be like the cabbage guy from Avatar.
He can't hold down a job because he's too, like, he can't hold down a job because he's actually he has too good survival instincts.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Anything else?
Also, something that's interesting is I wonder how Yuji's gonna feel that him and Nabaru killed his technically brothers. Like if that's gonna affect him at all. Especially with like him kind of feeling like a little bit justified now and his like hesitation or feeling weird about like killing people. Is like those two if I mean brothers in whatever sense Chozo's saying, but
Oh, true.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
Also, I
didn't think
love
about
how. Also, I love how like Choso also had the random like schizo flashback. He had the same kind of like schizo flashback Toto had
Toto
when he
has
became brothers with like Yuji.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I'm going to be really upset about, and I know this is going to be coming, I really hope they show how the rest of the world is reacting to, like, Shibuya turning into a smoldering rock, a giant flesh pit, and a giant crater over the course of, 3 hours? And the giant robot just blowing up the random dam? Like, it's never clear how much sway the sorcerers have over society. 'Cause I think they implied that, like, they're kind of secretive and everything. So, how the hell are they going to cover this up, and how is that going to affect the world moving
Gas
forward?
leak.
They'll be like, just another day in Japan. 10 years
Listen-
ago, we had a crazy guy running around with a death note, and now we have...
All of them are connected. All the
yeah,
universes.
demons and shit. Yeah.
Listen, it was really tragic that there was a impromptu asteroid that just fell into the Shibuya that caused the plane to crash. At the same time, there was a random gas leak that blew up the other rest of the city. Mr. Prime Minister, what about the giant flesh pit that now is taking up most of Shibuya Square? It's like,
Radiation.
yep.
Radiation. People were just having too much fun.
Yeah. This is why we need more moral responsibility. Like the kids
Exactly.
today with their like marijuana, if you party too hard, you turn into a flesh pit.
This is what happens when you have incest with your underage brother.
This is
People
what
turn
the
into flesh
gay
pits.
This is what the gay agenda looks like, people.
This is true. This is true. I saw like a comment. I didn't like engage with it too much because I was afraid there was spoilers, and I think I kind of agree. I feel like, gay writes a lot of will have like women, but then he like doesn't know like what to do with them. Like he'll write decent characters, but he's just like, what do I do with them? Dead, die. Next,
Malaysia.
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 I think I read somewhere he's just not comfortable with drawing women as much as he is with men. And I'm like, you know what? Sure. It's fine.
Which is weird because he does a good job.
Nope.
I'm trying to think how much
Okay.
sexy like Jujutsu Kaisen fan art have I seen online.
I actually don't see that much.
But most of
Yeah.
the fan art, sexy fan art I see is of like
Gojo.
Yuji and Megami and Toto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gojo and
Gojo.
Geto.
Yeah, definitely Gojo.
Mahito even.
Yeah.
God, that schoolgirl Mahito. But yeah, I think I'm going to drop a mad hot take right now, but I think Gege has the second best written female characters in shonen, in my opinion.
That's not saying much, to be honest.
Yeah, the
'Cause the
bar is
reason
low,
I
but
say-
who's number one?
Dr. Stone, honestly.
You know what? I can see that. You're right.
Because the reason, because here's the rankings. With My Hero Academia, it definitely feels like the characters do exist for fan service, and they don't really like. They
that
clearly
one's just a
feel
no.
like they just feel like, oh, we're the girl characters.
Yeah.
Naruto, right down to the no. Dragon Ball Z definitely is just like, oh, all the female characters are they're just the housewives. One Piece, Modi, you want to back me up on this one?
He can't. Well, you know what? No matter what you say, One Piece, he cannot draw women. That's for sure.
Okay, I'll give you that. Bleach, they have really huge.
I'm gonna
eyes.
say no. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
no on
they have
Bleach
really
too,
huge
from what
eyes.
I've seen of Bleach.
Yeah, no, you know
They
what?
have-
Bleach has the best number one women in shonen.
No.
That's my vote.
I disagree.
See, okay, Bleach gets credit because all of his female characters aren't just love interests, and I will say they are more than just they are definitely fan service characters, but I think their personalities stretch further into the I'm my own character.
You know what Bleach is good
Not
at though?
much, but
That's right.
still.
You know what Bleach is
Bleach-
good at though?
What?
Actually, designing and having black characters. It can't say the
Honestly-
same like stuff like Promise Neverland or
Yeah.
a lot of other anime.
Oh, totally. The one black character Jujutsu Kaisen has just got like he knew to get out the script.
So the most accurate black character.
But Demon Slayer definitely hard no, and the reason I give it to Jujutsu Kaisen a second is while they don't stick around as long, I feel like the characters in Jujutsu Kaisen easily crush the Bechdel test.
Yeah, they're
And
good.
I
Like,
give
they're
them-
good characters. It's just like they don't get as much. They don't get a whole lot of plot relevance all the time, or like a lot of time like moments to shine.
Yeah,
Like some of
yeah.
the characters do. I mean, this doesn't even matter. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, it's just a little comment I made. It's not too
Yeah.
serious.
I think it's always an interesting like look into anime because
Yeah.
I feel like with shonen shonen is literally stories built and designed around appealing to like teenage boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think looking at how like also in a culture that is very homogenous in terms of like race and ethnicity. So I always think like examining how these writers handle things like writing female characters and writing like black or Spanish or
Yeah.
foreigner characters is always something really fascinating to me.
Because yeah, like One Punch Man, Death Note, also like pretty bad for those.
Yeah.
One thing that's weird is I saw it's been a while, but Soul Eater main character is a girl, and I don't remember
Yep.
her being too fan servicey. Everything,
wasn't fan
every
servicey at
other
all.
character though, every other fucking character in that show, kind of balances that out though. So
Oh, you know what I
I
just
feel like
realized?
Soul Eater is a spectrum, okay? Like, and I appreciate that they had both characters on the opposite end of those spectrums in the literal first episode.
You know what I just realized is
Yeah.
probably the undisputed number one, but no one ever thinks of it because it's so good that we barely even think of it as shonen, is Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes.
I've not seen Full Metal Alchemist.
In terms, yeah, well, you should. It's really good.
Yeah.
Really,
It's
really
one of those
solid
shonen
show.
you would like. I mean, it's one. I wouldn't say shonen, but it's one of those shows that, again, it's one of those animes you can't tell is anime in terms of the writing.
More writers in Japan need to hang out with women. Is all I'm
Then
saying.
again, Full Metal Alchemist is written by women, so
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's probably why.
yeah.
We need more women writing shonen. Okay, just saying.
Or at least like talk to a woman. You know, like.
Don't get crazy, okay?
Although to be fair, I guess there's not a lot of women in Japan, so. Anyways, I feel like we lost the topic a little bit.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
I don't know, something about
Bodhi,
Jujutsu
you had a
Kaisen.
point?
Yuji. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, let's just wrap it up now.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Final
have any
ratings?
last thoughts? Or should we just go straight to ratings?
Okay, for my ratings, I'll give... This is tough for me. Okay, so a lot of time when I'm rating it, I'm looking at my overall enjoyment of it versus the objective quality of it. And the problem with my overall enjoyment is sometimes I'm laughing at how I'm making my own, like, abridged version in my head. But, I want to give... I think, objectively speaking... In terms of my own, like, emotional rating, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I love the extra Choso bits. I like how everyone came together for a little bit of time just to, like, throw out magic and bullshit anime explosions. And I think a lot of that was really fun. Objectively speaking, I'll give this a 7.0. Because I am feeling the fatigue of this arc a little bit more. And I do think a lot... It's hard rating this because I think a lot of the flaws with Jujutsu Kaisen are ever prevalent in terms of like writing and characters and magic execution. But I definitely think the high points for this episode was the spectacle, was the character interactions. But I think a lot of the lore drops didn't hit as well. They were either, oh, that's neat, or, man, I don't care, skip button. So yeah, 7.0.
As for me, I would give this... First, I'll say that even though we're not done with the arc, so maybe something will happen in like the next 2 episodes that'll change my mind. But I'm actually very disappointed. I mean, and this is something... I always say this, that I'm going to stop listening to fans. But,
Yes.
I'm serious now. I really will stop listening to fans. Because the way this arc was hyped up, like, it was supposed to be, like, the next Marineford. Marineford is, like,
arc.
the greatest One Piece arc, by the way. It's not even close. And I'm actually so annoyed that people did that because... it lessens my enjoyment of the arc when I have that expectation in my mind, you know, because it's a good arc, I guess. It's a pretty good arc in the grand scheme of Jujutsu Kaisen. Once again, like I said, we're not finished yet, so my mind might change. But in the grand scheme of Jujutsu Kaisen, I would say it's probably like second best arc after the flashback that we had at the beginning of the season. And then this episode specifically, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Nice.
Here
it comes. There's
so many points in which it's a shame because I feel like this arc started out like pretty strong, and there keeps on being points of like, okay, if we end it here, it's really good, and then they don't end it, and then I'm like, okay, if we end it here, it's like good, and then they don't end it, and then it's like, oh, if we end it here, this would be the perfect wrap, and then they don't fucking end it each time. So I'm going to have to end up going with, I think, a 3.5 out of 10. This is really starting to piss me off, and they can't get away with this. I wish Crunchyroll had a 2x speed button. I might have to start watching this on other websites that do. It's not, because holy shit, you can only show me so much like fight scenes at a time before I just start to actually become sick.
See, Matt's like going the reverse shonen fan like evolution, because typically you put the 2 times speed over the talky bits, but he's just like, no, like fast, like get through the fight. I know what's gonna happen. Dude punched the other dude. Everyone died. Next.
My favorite bit during this entire arc, I mean, besides like I like the Jogo and what's his face fight, the Sukuna fight. But my favorite part was the them trying to get Yuji a girlfriend.
Yes.
That was the best part of the Shibuya arc. Fight me.
And it wasn't even actually
the shirt scene.
And
it went nowhere.
Even the scene I liked with Mecha and Maru saying goodbye to Miwa is soiled by the fact that they don't have any restraint.
Yeah.
Even, like, factoring into this, too, it's like, I didn't even think there was anything too inspired with the character stuff they did do, and with any of the reveals, and with any of, like, the actual fights. I think this is, like, one of the lesser fights in the arc, and it I don't know. Take your 3.5. It's going to keep on going down. I'm going to take another half point off of that until you fucking end this thing. And then I'll feel bad because it's not actually that bad. But you know what? Fuck them.
Listen. And not to mention they're abusing their animators, so...
Yeah, that too. That's automatic 1 point off for you guys.
Listen. It's going to get to the final... It's going to be 10 episodes, and the arc's finally going to be over, and you're going to close the Crunchyroll video, and you're just going to, like, give a full-on standing ovation, because you're going to be like, it was worth it. Those 10 episodes, those 10 episodes needed to happen, man. They needed to happen.
Was the... Oh, yeah, also, what's something that really brings it down is the Mei scene.
Yeah.
And just imagining the overworked animators that haven't seen their family in years having to draw and animate the Mei scene.
Can you feel? I feel bad that like I'm picturing like half of them not even like watching, like reading Jujutsu Kaisen, and just like having that just dropped on top of them too.
Oh, these animators are like soulless at this point. They signed their soul to the animation devil, and like they're just making these with zero like thoughts in their head.
It's like the scene from like you know that scene from Naruto where like the main character is just it's like Rock Lee, and he's like completely unconscious, but his body is just like moving autonomously, like just dead standing up. That's what this is for the animators like that. Like I'm still I never forgot, like there's that one frame where like the animations it's the date scene when they're trying to get Yuji a date, and everything just goes like super scraggly and sketchy. I'm still waiting for the animation to turn into that. And every episode it doesn't. I feel worse and worse for the people working on this.
I'm waiting for it to be still concept art that's just cleaned across the screen.
That'll be the last episode, just like a PowerPoint slideshow.
Actually, there's a cursed spirit who reduces the keyframes every time he's on screen.
That's Ghetto. That's like Ghetto's domain expansion. He just kills the animation budget.
He just kills the animators IRL.
But yeah. Anything else, you guys?
No, except I think it's really funny that we had probably like one of our longest episodes about one episode. That just says a lot about this episode.
Yeah. A lot happened during it, but also it didn't happen. So it's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's our review of episode 22 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Thanks for watching, and come back next time for our next reviews. Bye.
Bye. Bye.